Welcome to KXAN News Today. Here are your Wednesday morning headlines. Round Rock police are searching for 29-year-old Yara Perez. She was last seen leaving Divas Men's Club on Felter Lane in southeast Austin on August 26th. Police say she was with two men in a black Ford Expedition and hasn't been seen since.
Austin police need your help catching three women. They say they're connected to a car theft in the Bull Creek area over the weekend. Video caught them breaking the window of a pickup truck and stealing several items from inside. If you know any of these women, please call Austin Police.
And the North Austin Brewery is closing its location after 15 years in business. Circle Brewing Company made the announcement on Facebook this week. It's keeping their Elgin location open for another week to sell all remaining drafts and merchandise. It closes on Sunday. Well, there's progress on efforts for more police oversight in Austin. Good morning. I'm Jayla Washington and for Sally Hernandez.
And I'm Tom Miller. The director of Austin's Civilian Office of Police Oversight, or OPO, sent city leaders a memo about its progress. It says from April to August, it received 72 complaints about the Austin Police Department. The OPO saying it's created an anonymous contact link where people can file complaints anonymously.
Yeah, and in the spring, a majority of voters approved for the office to have more access to certain police files, participate in investigations of officer conduct, including anonymous complaints. City Council will go over the memo tomorrow.
It's important for us as a dais to listen to the voters and continue to build that trust. We can't say, we will do one thing and then do the other.
The OPO says to better align with what voters approved, it created 2 new positions for complaint investigators. It says the open spots are expected to be filled by December.
First warning weather with meteorologist Sean Kelly.
Hey, good morning, everyone. We start with a look outside as we kick off your morning here. Comfortable right now, but we've got another hot day in store for us. We've had temperatures yesterday climbing to the upper 90s. Today, more of the same, close to 100 degrees. A live look with a mainly clear sky. We're going to start to also see increasing humidity and eventually increasing clouds beginning early tomorrow morning. Sitting at 77 in Kingsland, 73 in Llano, a little bit cooler in Gillespie County into the lower 70s there. 74 in Florence, down through Buda at 69 degrees, 60 out towards the east, and a few 70 readings here in LaGrange up through Cameron. So it's a comfortable start right now, but we get ready for almost an unbearably hot day today, well above average. If we don't reach 100 degrees, it'll feel like it's 100 degrees with temperatures here. Feels like temperatures climbing as high as 104. Coming up in first warning weather, we've got a streak of days here that are unseasonably hot, but we do have some slight relief and a cold front in the forecast. We'll talk about the timing of that coming up in first warning weather.
Alrighty, thanks, Sean. Well, an Austin woman is sharing her story after she says she might have been drugged through injections. It happened at a bar in the Red River Bar area over the weekend. The woman's friend says she saw her trying to get in an Uber with a stranger and called her friend's mother. That mom told the friend to hop in the Uber with the woman and the stranger, and then the mom picked them up and took them home.
I said, okay, well, just get into the Uber with them and keep me on the phone. Put me on speakerphone.
The woman says she noticed a bruise around her, a swollen red mark on her outer forearm and another small bruise that she says looked like someone tried to grab her on the inner forearm. The woman and her mother feel someone injected her with something to drug her. We did reach out to emergency rooms in the area just to ask if they're happening to see alleged druggings via injections, and as soon as we hear back, we will let you know. APD also says they are investigating this incident.
The Bastrop School Board is joining a growing lawsuit against the state. Some school districts, including Pflugerville and Del Valle, suing the Texas Education Agency over changes to this school campus A through F rating system. Last night, Bastrop ISD also asking for an exception to a new state law that requires an armed security guard on every public school campus. This allows it more time to meet that requirement. Many districts have said that they don't have the funding or qualified applicants to comply.
Well, we are dedicated to bringing you the correct information and have a story we'd like to update. Yesterday, we told you that Georgetown ISD leaders are approving to allow chaplains to volunteer as school counselors.
So we want to clarify on this. The district did vote on Senate Bill 763, and this bill allows districts to accept volunteer chaplains in several capacities, including for counseling services. School districts must formally vote on this, and Georgetown ISD's formal vote allows chaplains to serve as volunteers in the same way that other community members and parents can volunteer. But this was a policy that was already in place before the required vote. And the part we want to clarify is the district says chaplains will not be serving in any official religious capacity, and chaplains will not be volunteering as school counselors.
Well, President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, is expected to plead not guilty to the firearm charges that were brought against him. Biden is hoping to enter his plea virtually. Biden's lawyer explained that traveling across the country for the appearance would be a, quote, unnecessary burden on government resources, but also added that Biden will attend any proceedings in which his physical appearance is required.
Negotiations to end the Hollywood writers' strike are back on. The Writers Guild of America is saying the union will resume negotiations with Hollywood studios today. The union telling its members to continue joining picket lines as the talks resume. Spokesperson for the studios confirming the talks are back on, but offered no further comment. Dual writers and actor strikes have halted production of several big-name shows and films. Meantime, the Actors Union has not yet indicated when it might return to the negotiating table.
One update on the status of Austin's beloved tree known as Flo, what City Council is recommending before the Barton Springs icon is removed.
And a family wants answers after a man exposed himself at an Austin rec center. The security concerns now being addressed.
Hey, good morning, everyone. You're watching KXAN News Today. Thanks for waking up with us. Showing you a live picture from our domain tower cam. Your time now is 4:39.
We have an update to the tree that a lot of people in Austin have affectionately named Flo. It's a tree that hangs out over Barton Springs, but it's not doing so well.
Yeah, the City Council was briefed yesterday on Flo, and right now the area around the tree is blocked off and there are ropes holding it up.
I would absolutely hate for some situation to happen where it ended up becoming so unstructurally sound that somebody got hurt or it damaged the pool.
Now, 4 arborists weighed in and say that that tree does need to be removed. Austin Parks and Recreation will hold an event to honor Flo before the tree is removed. That has not been scheduled yet.
The nation's average gas price is up for the second straight week. According to AAA, it's about $3.88, up 2 cents from a month ago, so slight increase. Travis County averaging about $3.53 a gallon. And coming up on Today, NBC's Brian Chung looks at the state of the economy.
Well, good morning. There is a lot happening on the economic front with all eyes on the Federal Reserve. They're expected to make another decision on interest rates later on today. How will that impact our mortgage rates and our credit card rates, which are already sky high? We'll have the preview in addition to what's going on with prices at the pump. We've all been feeling the higher pain with prices rising across the country, the reasons for why that is, and where prices could go from here. We'll have all those updates coming up later on the Today Show.
Still ahead, why firefighters in Pflugerville say they are worried about the quality of care from paramedics hired by the city. Their concerns of improper care.
And the new program from the city of Austin that is trying to keep you safer while visiting downtown Austin bars. Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you for waking up with us bright and early. Taking a gorgeous live look right now from KXAN Weather Cam. Skyline lit up nice and bright. Your time now is 4:44. Firefighters in Pflugerville say they are worried about the quality of care from paramedics hired by the city.
Yeah, this is after an autopsy report blamed a death earlier this year on improper care. KXAN's Mercedes Hernandez talked with the fire chief about the concerns.
We need to be adding resources to keep up with the growth, not removing resources, not reducing funding.
Nick Perkins is the fire chief for Pflugerville FD, and he's worried.
You don't see the robust training, you don't see the robust quality management.
Last year, the city of Pflugerville hired Allegiance Mobile Health to provide ambulance services in the area. Perkins says his crews have run into problems with Allegiance paramedics out in the field.
Not having the right equipment, not bringing the equipment to the patient, not knowing how to do certain skills. And then in one case, we know for sure actions by the for-profit ambulance led to a patient's death.
Back in January, Allegiance paramedics responded to a call where a man hit his head and needed medical care. The man later died. The autopsy report found further investigation revealed that the series of steps taken by the primary medic led to his death. The cause of death listed as improper emergency medical therapy, resulting in death.
Thank you for your time and allowing me to come speak with you guys today.
Last Tuesday, Allegiance gave an update to city council members where they were asked about equipment issues and the patient death.
I am not aware of any instances of us arriving without our equipment. All of our units have the same equipment. It's state mandated equipment. They're checked off every day. So if that's happening, it has not come to my attention.
The presumable death?
I cannot comment on that incident.
We reached out to the city of Pflugerville about these concerns. They said they've now partnered with the city of Austin for oversight on EMS services through Allegiance. In Pflugerville, Mercedes Hernandez, KXAN News.
We reach out to Allegiance, but we haven't heard back, and we have covered the back and forth in Pflugerville between the ambulance services before. Last year, Pflugerville choosing a contract with Emergency Services District 2. A month later, the city then switched back to a contract with Allegiance. City saying Travis County EMS 2 withdrew its services without additional funds from the city. Then, at the start of the year, there was a petition to move funds from ESD2 over to the city with the ultimate goal of starting a city-run ambulance service. Keep in mind that market research expects the global valuation for the private ambulance services market to surpass $70 billion by the year 2031. They cited emerging economies in some countries, the need for expanding into rural areas to help with patients, as well as demographics showing an aging population that needs these services.
On other news, Texas Parks and Wildlife wants people to reserve spots now at state parks for the next month's solar eclipse. Saturday, October 14th, an annular eclipse will pass over the state. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon is passing between Earth and the sun in its orbit. It casts a shadow on the surface of Earth. John Carini, an associate professor of physics at Indiana University, explains why this is so special.
And you might think, well, this should happen every month, anytime there's a new moon. But it doesn't, because the moon is orbiting in a slightly different plane than the Earth. So most of the time it misses the sun and we don't get to see the eclipse. But coming this October, it will indeed pass in front of the sun from the perspective of almost everyone in North America.
Well, Carini says you should not look directly at the sun and you should always use a solar viewer that has been properly approved. Parks and Wildlife says 17 state parks will offer the best views and they are expecting big demand for day passes, so get them now. Sean, Tom,
I mean,
y'all ready?
Give them now, I guess.
That's exciting. I heard, nature just goes crazy too because it gets completely
that's
dark.
Interesting.
And, all the birds, all the animals are a little confused for a little bit. I mean, I heard it's surreal.
Yeah,
fun.
I remember seeing an eclipse, I don't know, 5+ years ago, and it's really cool. But it's also, it's there for 1 minute and then it's gone.
Right.
So.
A lot of people making the journey from across the country, for just
a couple of minutes.
Well, that means it's awesome, right? It's worth it. What's not so worth it here is this weather pattern that we are back in. Look at this calendar here. We went from 94 on Sunday, 96 on Monday, 98 degrees yesterday. What does that tell me today? Maybe, just maybe, we reach 100 degrees. I'm trying to not get there. Right now, I'm forecasting 98, 99, but I'm continuing to look at the data here. I might have to bump it up to 100 degrees. The only difference that may stop us here is the increase in humidity. When there's more moisture in the atmosphere, it's a little bit slower to warm up and heat up. But when we have that increase of humidity, it doesn't matter because it feels like temperatures, those go crazy, and it's definitely going to be into the triple digits in that respect. So that's what really counts, right? It's going to feel very hot today and all week long through the weekend. So let's get used to it. We're on round 8 of summer. A live look on our KXAN TV studio weather camera looking towards downtown Austin. Hey, it's pleasant right now, 75 degrees here in Austin as you're starting off your morning. It's nice and cool in the hill country, 72 in Fredericksburg. Good morning to you. 72 in Blanco, 70 in San Marcos, 72 in Rockdale. We've got some thunderstorms up towards the northern part of the state. We wish they were reaching us. It won't. But we do have some increasing rain chances and our next storm maker. Now, it is delayed perhaps a day, maybe a day and a half. Still pretty high uncertainty, I'd say, on the timing of this cold front, but it looks like it'll arrive at some point between Sunday and Monday. This model wants to even put it in through our area Monday late in the day into Tuesday. All in all, as it does get closer, it may stall out, but be able to trigger some rain chances each and every day out ahead of it, and then even behind it after it pushes through into Tuesday. Some models here depicting upwards of a ½ an inch, some even more than that, up to an inch of rain. So a lot of uncertainty, but know that we're looking at some changes here. And still, from all the rain that we've seen, mold count remains high in our area and is forecast to be high through the week here with the increase of humidity. So 98 degrees for high temperature today. Over the course of the next several days, it will feel like it's 100 degrees with increasing rain chances by the weekend into early next week.
All right, Sean, thank you. Well, officers running after a group in Hutto led to an elementary school being placed on a temporary lockout.
Yeah, it was scary moments over there. Hutto High School's principal saying 5 people who were not students at the school were found on campus. They were in the school cafeteria yesterday, and a letter states that they ran out of the building into a neighborhood near Nadine Johnson Elementary School. There, law enforcement took them into custody, but it caused the elementary school to be placed under that temporary lockout.
Sounds like a really scary situation. The principal adds, quote, "We do not believe the people had malicious intent. However, this is why we stress the importance of not opening doors for others." The non-Hutto ISD students were led into the building by that HHS building by some of those students. Those responsible will receive disciplinary action.
Also this morning in Austin, mom is speaking out after she says a man exposed himself to her 6-year-old daughter in after-school care at an Austin rec center.
Yeah, and she's concerned because these same rec centers serve as cooling centers, and she says it is impacting the safety of the kids who use these facilities. KXAN's Nabil Ramadna has the story.
So my husband went to pick my daughter up at the recreation center.
The Hancock Rec Center in Central Austin. This mother says her daughter goes to after-school activities here, but on September 5th,
My daughter was like, "Dad, I saw his thing." And
according to police, officers arrested a man named Drew Rhodes and charged him with exposure, disorderly conduct, and failure to identify. The city tells us they observed the man enter the rec center with his shorts lowered, exposing himself.
You know, our kids have gone there for years. Why would there suddenly be a mentally unstable person in there? Like, you know, exposing himself to children.
Hancock Rec Center is an Austin cooling center that allows people to seek shelter during the hot summers. But the mother says she wants to see these facilities moved somewhere else, away from kids.
I do trust the staff there. Like I said, they've been there for years. I feel like this is on the city.
The city says all youth programs are supervised by staff and scheduled in classrooms. And, quote, "The public does not have access to classroom areas with active youth programming." But the mother we spoke to says the city needs to reevaluate their safety procedures.
And I understand that the city has good intentions, but I think they maybe need to reassess their priorities.
Nabil Ramadna, KXAN News.
City spokesperson told us that the parents of the kids in the after-school program were notified. However, the mother of the girl involved tells us the city didn't send her any information about the incident.
Now turning to Williamson County, officials there allowed the public to see and test election equipment ahead of November's general election. We stopped by in Georgetown yesterday with distrust out there among some in the public over the past few elections. Williamson County leaders want as much transparency as possible.
This gives us plenty of buffer and enough time to make sure that our systems are running correctly and our machines are functioning the way they're intended to function.
That general election is happening on November 7th.
All right, Friday night football right around the corner, and it's a lot more than just the games for the high schools. There are the bands, there's the cheerleaders, the dance teams, and the food. And as Noah Gross shows us, Dripping Springs has turned the food into quite the attraction.
A Friday night, the sights and smells at Dripping Springs, some unique smells. The specialty at Tiger Stadium.
And then I'm going to do a catfish plate. 150 pounds of catfish, and we always run out. Come on over.
Parents of Dripping Springs band members work long Fridays, even some start on Thursday to cook the catfish at the concession stand as a fundraiser for the band, and it is quite the hit.
Most of the people are here for the game, for the experience, but people love their catfish. It's pretty crazy.
That's Brian Toohey, or Fry Guy Bry, alongside Fish Commish, or Luke Hassel.
And so what we'll do is we'll take some fish.
Who knows the history involved.
So I've been here for about 7 years, and it's the same recipe. And as I understand it, it hasn't changed.
A recipe and tradition that's been in place since the late 90s and now goes hand in hand with the idea of Dripping Springs football.
People come from all over looking for it. It's I'm telling you, it's area famous. I heard about the catfish here long before my kids came to school here.
I've had officials, making sure when they're coming to do games over here that there's the catfish, so that's a big deal.
You won't find catfish on a lot of concession menus, and they like it that way. Noah Gross, KXAN News.
For those listening in on the KXAN Today podcast, thanks for joining us. Here's what we're tracking at 5. A plan to stitch downtown back together with East Austin, and the plan how it could expand I-35 to soon get more money.
Thanks for joining KXAN News Today. You can also listen to KXAN News Nightly every weekday after 5:30 p.m. for in-depth coverage on what matters most to you.